don't even know his name.
He possessed great skills.
Yeah. Stick around.
Hey, what's up guys? Sam here, Contagious Collection, back with another video. Welcome to my channel, welcome to the game room, back with another one. And today's topic of discussion is going to be my PC Engine collection. Very excited to do this video. I don't got a lot of games, about like a little over 20 titles, but pretty much all, solid stuff, like really fun, great games. And in this video, of course, I'm going to be recommending these games as well, and what to pick up if you do have a PC Engine and you want to start a collection, maybe. Either or, if you want to play a few of these games, or if there's any other way that you can play them, definitely do that, because these are amazing titles. And you still know the drill. Sit back, relax, grab your favorite drink and snacks, and here we go. Hope you guys enjoy the content. I'm going to get right into it. And it's this little bad boy right here, man. As far as I know about the PC Engine, it is a 8-bit console, but it pushes 16-bit graphics. Not all games are like great, don't get me wrong. It's just the ones that I prefer, that I picked up, and I want to get a lot more to add to the collection. But there's a lot of phenomenal stuff on here, man. And this little thing just pushes amazing, amazing graphics. And they're so fun. And here is the controller, which it actually has a turbo option. And they work great for like shooters, shmups, and stuff like that. There's a lot of like, puzzle platformers, action platformers, and it's just a powerhouse of shoot 'em up games. There are so many, and I'll also be saying those as well, because there are a lot of titles that were on the TurboGrafx 16 as well, and there are stuff that was just straight exclusive, Japan exclusives to the PC Engine. So yeah, and I'm also gonna talk about the game a little bit. That I bought the game before I bought the console, and I saw gameplay footage of it, and I was like, oh man, I really want to play this game. And that was the reason, one of the reasons, that the main reason I would say that I got this console, because I wanted to play that certain title, and there was no other way that I could have played it. And I love to have the physical format, physical copy of everything. I'm not, into emulating or whatever the heck that is called, or anything like that. But if you can, again, you can play it that way. If you find it, why not go for it? All right, first game I'm going to talk about is this right here. As far as I remember, this one's called Agedama. I just call it that for short. I don't remember the full name of it, but it's basically an action platformer, very colorful, very fun. Best way to describe it, it kind of plays a little bit like a Mega Man style, not so much, but it's an automatic scroll where the screen just goes left to right automatically, and you're controlling your character and the main protagonist, which is this guy right here. And it's a really fun game, and I have this loose. A couple games I have loose. This and another one I'm gonna show in a little bit, and I got it for like 15 bucks, which is not bad. I'm still looking for the case for this to complete it, definitely. But something about these import titles is very difficult. The only way that I'll be able to find it, if it's maybe some other collector, or it could be someone online, and I mainly get stuff off of eBay and things like that. So I gotta get lucky, right place, right time, so to speak, to pick up the case and the manual and everything to complete it. But yeah, really fun automatic side-scrolling action platformer. So this is a really cool game. Next one. This is actually the first game in the series. Part 2, for whatever reason, got ported over to the Famicom, and I have that in my collection. Phenomenal game. That one is a more of an action platformer, and I actually did do a let's play day, is what I call it, which I started a new series, and I want to do more gameplay footage on certain games that I want to show you guys as well. So if you guys haven't seen that video, definitely go check it out. And that was Don Doko Don 2, which that's on the Famicom. This is the first one. Again, loose. Really fun game, but I have a really difficult time beating that first boss. It plays kind of like I would say like a Bubble Bobble style type game. More of that, like more of like a action arcade style, but super fun. Love the graphics on this, and I know you guys are gonna hear that a lot. I'm gonna be saying that a lot. Super amazing graphics on these games, man. It's just mind blowing what they did back in the days. And it's such a fun game. Dondo Kodan. Now I'm gonna get into the rest of the collection, which is all pretty much complete in the case with the manuals. This one is sort of like a mediocre, whatever, shooter, and that is called Rock On. A lot of times, I look at, of course, gameplay footage before I buy anything like that. It looked pretty cool. It's still good, I mean, it is a shooter shmup anyway. And of course, these games are like these credit card shape, and they come in these little plastic thingies where it holds it and it sits like that inside the case. And that's the manual. Whoops, that fell right there. And a lot of times it comes with these like little booklets or extra things, which is mostly in like Japanese and stuff like that, but super cool. And this is the back of the case where I believe it shows like the price of it, which is like this one back then I guess was like 6,700 yen. However, that is, I don't know the exact currency nowadays, where a lot of times it changes up, but it's interesting to see that they did that. But yeah, so not bad. I mean, it's still playable. A mediocre shooter shmup. Rock On. Next one, again, another not the greatest, but I got them for a really good deal while I got them at the time I got them, and that is Deep Blue. It's more of like a underground, under the sea shooter type game, and it's interesting, but not my favorite. I'll just say that, but it's still cool, a shmup nonetheless to have in the collection. And this one doesn't have a plastic or one of those rubber cases, whatever they are. Next one, the interesting thing about this is there's actually an action platformer as well in this series. It's also on the PC Engine, and as far as I know, it is an exclusive to the PC Engine. The action platformer is called, I think, Haney or Hani in the Sky, on the road or something like that. Actually, this one is Haney or Hani in the Sky, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. And another really cool shooter, actually. This one's not bad. The interesting thing about this is it kind of like does like a 360 motion whenever you're shooting it. And it's really great that it has that option on the controllers where you can, have it on the turbo, and there's a regular mode where the second mode it speeds up a little bit more, and then the third one it just goes all out like full blast. And it's really great where you have that option on these controllers, again, especially for shooters, because after a while, me personally, my thumb gets like really tired, or it gets like sore, like mashing on the buttons trying to get all the enemies on the screen. But that really helps out a lot. If you're a gamer, you know what I'm exactly talking about. But yeah, Haney in the Sky, really cool. Another pretty cool shmup shooter. Next one, of course, you guys have heard of this. This has been like on and is on so many different platforms. It's just like all over the place. But a beautiful, colorful game on the PC Engine nonetheless. Again, and that is Fantasy Zone. I think, in my opinion, this has the better gameplay if it's like on other consoles. I think it might be on a Genesis as well, if I'm not mistaken. But it's just something else on the PC Engine, man. The colors, the gameplay, everything about it, super fun game. You could upgrade and things where you're going around and level to level. Very colorful, very charming, really cool game. Fantasy Zone. That might even be on the Turbo Graphics as well. I'm not entirely sure. This one, I remember I got this in like a 3 or 4 bundle deal, which this was like a few years ago. I'm glad I did, because this is a pretty tough to find game, and I rather play this than the Nintendo versions. I'm just saying because this could be more of an upgraded version, and this is 1943 Kai, Kai, I believe it's spelled. And yeah, man, and it says Capcom right there, Nexat Soft. Awesome, awesome game, man. So much fun, and it's nothing close to what the Nintendo did. And it's just a phenomenal shooter. I mean, come on, Capcom back in the days was king, man. I mean, Konami did his thing too, but personally, I think Capcom is my favorite. If I had to pick one between the two, but of course, Konami with the Castlevanias and all that other really cool things that they have. But I'm more of a Capcom guy. But yeah, 1943 Kai, just a superb shooter. Superb. So much fun. Beautiful graphics. I absolutely love this game. And as I'm going to keep on going, there's more in here. Another one. This one is actually another exclusive to the PC Engine. And I love collecting exclusives to any console that I have. Try to get the main ones or the ones that, of course, I'm going to enjoy playing. And that is Toy Shop Boys. I believe, as far as I remember, because if even if there is like dialogue in these games, there's not too much you're gonna know about because it's in Japanese. But from what I remember watching like gameplay footage and stuff like that, and to know a little bit backstory about it, I believe the three boys on here, hence the title Toy Shop Boys. I think they're brothers, three brothers or three friends, something like that. And the cool thing is that you get to play all three at the same time. They're like rolling around together. You could like switch up between anyone you want. Each different character has a different type of, let's say, like bullet style where you're shooting at the enemies. One has like a boomerang style, and it chucks like boomerangs and stuff like that. And you could upgrade your weapons as well. The bosses are super difficult. I remember I probably got to like the second or third boss and I can't beat it. But it is based on like toys and stuff. It's really cool, something like different. It's not like your ordinary where it's like gun like helicopters or spaceships. Nothing wrong with that, of course, but it's something different. Kind of like a breath of fresh air, something different. And I love that. I love that variety that you can get in like these certain games, where again it's based on like toys and stuff like that, and you're fighting these toy bosses at the end. Super fun game, Toy Shop Boys. Highly recommend that one as well. Next one, I know this one is actually on the TurboGrafx, but I am more focused on the PC Engine because the cool thing about it is a lot of the games that were on the Turbo got ported or was also on the PC Engine. And the cool thing about it is that the PC Engine has a lot of Japanese exclusives that we didn't get out in the States at the time. So another really fun, colorful, very cool shooter, and that's Ordyne. And I know this is on the TurboGrafx 16. But again, guys, I really got into collecting this stuff at the right time, around the time when I was collecting, and it's been like almost, well, next year it'll be 10 years that I have been collecting, and I'm glad I jumped on these when I did because I was grabbing these for like 20 bucks or less off of eBay at the time, and a console I probably got for like 100 bucks or even less, which is great. It's probably around there now. If you want to, get one, why not? If you're into collecting these and want to play these games, I definitely recommend it. And there are a lot more that I want to pick up. If you guys have any recommendations that you want to know, what else you want to get, let me know down in the comments below. Let me know if you've played these games before or anything like that. Let's get a conversation going, so that'll be pretty cool. Yeah, man, Ordyne, another very fun, colorful shmup shooter. Now, there is also a part 2 to this as well, which is interesting, and this is on a lot of different platforms as well. There's a R-Type 1 and a R-Type 2. I don't have part 2, I have part 1, which this might play close to or similar to the Super Nintendo version. I don't know, or it could be a little switched up, a little changed. But yeah, man, R-Type 1, you can't go wrong with it. Very fun game again. Again, your traditional, it's a side-scrolling horizontal shooter where you get like a bunch of like power-ups, and then at the end of each stage you fight a certain boss, and you go on until you try to beat the game. But super cool game, and I love that cover art. A lot of these cover arts are really cool too, which is also of course on the manual. Next one. This is also a Capcom game, if I remember correctly. I think it is. Capcom had to have made this as well. Yeah. NEC Avenue or something like that. There is a developer, or oh yeah, right there, where it says AV. Whoops, that fell out. Sorry about that. Uh, where it says shows that AV right there in like a pixel art kind of font. These developers or whatever they are, the publishers, man, they make phenomenal games. So if you ever see that AV on there, oh, and there that goes again, and it fell again. Sorry about that. Anyway, yeah, they're really good developers or whatever they're called, the publishers that make these games. They made like phenomenal games, man. Just the visuals, the colors, everything just pops out. It's beautiful, so much fun to play. This one I believe is another, I think, side-scrolling shooter, Sidearms. Now the cool thing about this is you have enemies coming from both sides. It's not just like one-sided. So when you press like the on these buttons, where instead of an A and a B, it's a one and a two. So if you're pressing like the two button, it's gonna shoot this way, and the one button's gonna shoot like one shoots left, one shoots right. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this was also on the Capcom Classic Collection on the PS2. Might have been, but afterwards when I got it, then I found out that it's actually on that. I have both volumes, one and two, but it's still cool to have a physical copy. And it could be different. I'm not entirely sure, but what an amazing game! Another really phenomenal side-scrolling shooter. That's Sidearms. I think this one is also on the TurboGrafx, but I got this for a really good deal again at the time. This one is a vertical shooter, top down, and it's more based like on kind of like, I think, bugs, if I remember correctly, and you're like a bug as a spaceship, and the enemies coming at you are like different kind of bugs. Pretty cool. And that is Cybercore. Love the music on this one. I just came to mind right now. If I remember correctly, the music on this, especially the first stage, phenomenal. Just that 8-bit, that 16-bit, that era of music, man, it just gets you so pumped up while you're playing the game, and it's super fun, very cool. Again, you get those really cool power ups and stuff like that. Awesome game, Cybercore. This one, far as I remember, it is an exclusive to the PC Engine. Uh, this is a top down. Again, it's a vertical shooter, but you're on foot, and you play as this like mech kind of robot character. Kind of reminds me of like, because it's kind of like from top down, where you could see like, I don't want to say isometric, but it's more of a top down, and he's just like walking around and stuff like that. It kind of reminds me of like RoboCop a little bit, but it's this badass like mech robot type of thing, and it's called Psycho Chaser. Uh, Psycho Chaser, yeah, what a weird name. They just thought of that. They said, hey, at the time, let's just call it Psycho Chaser. Anyway, um, very fun game, on foot, very difficult, but it's something about it where, again, a lot of these difficult games, man, it just makes me personally too want to go back and just play them again, just try to beat that. But yeah, you get these really cool power ups. You have like, I think like 3 to 4 different type of weapons. You have like a straight blaster type. There's one where it kind of like chases the enemies, kind of like a magnetic shot. Wherever the enemy is, it chases after it. The robots, I mean, excuse me, not the robots, the bosses, I might have gotten to like maybe the second or third or fourth boss. I don't remember exactly, to be honest, but There is one I can't beat, and I'm trying to beat it, but so much fun, man. On foot, amazing shooter, Psycho Chaser. This one, I know I have written inside of it, so I remember the titles. Yeah, this one is a action platformer. Interesting, another Japanese exclusive, and from what I'm gonna try to pronounce it as best as possible. I think it's called Yukai Duchuki or something like that. So it's kind of like I don't want to say dark, but it has like this weird Japanese thing to it where there was no holds bar with Japan with their games, man. Like they didn't have like restrictions or whatever. If no idea was too crazy, if they thought of something, they would just put into a game, and that's pretty cool uh, to see that in a game. But it is a pretty cool action platformer style game. Not bad. This one was on a Turbo Graphics from what I remember. Uh, to me, it's kind of weird because the English version on the Turbo it's called Chuman Fu, and this one is called B-Ball, which is the Japanese version. So the Japanese version has an English title, but the English title has a Japanese. It's vice versa basically, which is weird. I don't know why they did that, but again, oh my god, the graphics on this, guys, it's breathtaking, amazing. I wish they had made like a action platformer or like a beat 'em up game in this art form, like this style. That would have been like bananas in the best way. But yeah, it's a really cool. You play as this little girl, and you're pushing around these little colorful like marble type things or colorful balls, and you have to get them in certain areas, color coordinated and stuff like that. The controls are a little bit it takes getting used to, but once you start playing it, you'll get used to it. Super fun game, B-Ball. This one is a Doraemon game. This is actually Doraemon Mekyu Daisakusen. And best way to describe this is, excuse me, best way to describe this is it plays like I would say put it in the genre of like puzzle platformer maybe. It kind of plays like a Mega Man game, Bomberman, excuse me, but not exactly Bomberman, but it is Bomberman esque. It's isometric view. I believe I even beat this game. I couldn't put it down. I kept playing it and playing it, and it's its own game, very unique, very different than a Bomberman game. But best way to describe it to give you guys an idea, it kind of plays a little bit like that, where you get like these little power ups. And from what I remember, I think it has like 50 stages, and I ended up beating it. Super fun game. Highly recommend this one as well. Next one, this is called Energy, I believe. Yeah, this one's called Energy. Not bad. It's a pretty cool, so. Not the best, but it's still playable. Pretty fun. Side-scrolling action platformer style game. Pretty cool game. Not bad at all. This one I did get stuck on because it is in Japanese. It has kind of like an overhead map where you're supposed to go to like different levels and stuff like that. But it's super fun, very unique. Again, something different where you get to play as three different characters, and I believe this one is called what is this one called? Blue Blink or something like that. Blue something, from what I remember. Blue Blink, I think. I don't know the exact Japanese title, but I think there's like Blue Blink in it from what I remember. But again, it's a pretty cool, very fun side-scrolling action platformer again, and you play as three different characters. It's, I believe, these three guys, these two dudes in a suit, and that one guy with the hat. Well, they all have hats, but the guy in the green clothing. But there is a part where you have to get like a certain key, and I can't figure that out. I remember watching like videos on YouTube to try to figure it out, but it's still fun. It's a really fun, really cool action platformer style game, and I love my action platformers. They're super fun. Another one, from what I remember, this one is translated as Peach Boy or something like that. You play as this little samurai ninja type kid. Another pretty cool, pretty fun action platformer style game. This next one, this is a pretty cool one. There's another one similar to this game that I'm looking out for. But I got this one not too long ago, from what I remember. But yeah, this one is called Cyber Cross. So you play as this regular dude, and you can get like power ups as you're going along. Again, it's like kind of like a side-scrolling again action platformer, but you get power ups and you turn into like this Power Ranger type of looking uh, character. And from what I remember, I played it to the first boss, and it was pretty fun. I think it was like this frog type of character, the boss. But it is pretty cool. And a lot of these games, I actually want to do a play day footage for you guys to get like an idea of what I'm talking about, and it'll be fun to also talk about and let you guys see like how the game actually plays. And I like to do a little, commentary over it, and I'm talking about the game as I'm playing to like, I like doing that as well, just to let you guys know like what the experience is, and they're really fun, and that's what it's all about. Another really cool action platformer game. This one I believe is Valkyrie something. I forgot the exact name of it, but I remember when I got the game after I got it, I loved it so much. I was looking like online and I noticed that there was like this kind of like a mini about that big, from what I remember. It's actually on my little TV over here, and it's kind of like I don't want to say a statue, but like a little mini resin figure. It's kind of like rubbery. I don't want to say it's plastic because it's not, and there's a little parts of it on the back that's connected. And I think this one's called Valkyrie Daisakusen or something like that. I know Valkyrie is in it, but super fun game. Again, it plays more like I would say like more of like a Zelda style game where it's like top down, but you can move around freely. And there's like you go into like these little huts and you get like power ups and stuff like that. Uh, it is pretty difficult. The first time I played it, I was like, "What the heck's going on?" But once you get the hang of it, it's super fun. There's power ups. You get to collect like all these coins after you beat like enemies and then bosses and stuff like that. Super fun game. Glad I picked this up when I did back then. And I remember that little mini figure, the little resin statue or whatever it is. I got it less than for like $10, and it's basically her as a character. And it's over here. I don't want to move the camera right now, but it's pretty cool. And yeah, there was like 10 or 15 watchers on it, and nobody had bought it. This was like years ago again when I after I bought this game, and I ended up getting that because I wanted it, and it just looks really cool on the TV. And I double taped it so it won't like move or fall off. Pretty awesome. So yeah, Valkyrie. Next one. This is the new Adventure Island. There is a Japanese name to it. Don't know exactly what it is, but that's the best way to describe it. Hudson Soft, another great development company or publisher, whatever they're exactly called. Such an awesome game, man. So much fun. I would pick this any day over the Super Nintendo version or any other version. Again, this is my personal preference. I think this is the best version on the PC Engine. I think this was also on a TurboGrafx, if I remember correctly. But just look at the gameplay footage screenshots right there. You will see. Uh, but yeah, man, it just phenomenal. Just Japanese animation, the video games, the quality that they made. I mean, the Super Nintendo version isn't bad, but as far as I know, it could be close to this one. But this is on another different level, different caliber, in my uh, humble personal opinion, of course. But yeah, man, Adventure Island, you can't go wrong with it. A super fun, colorful, uh, awesome action platformer game. This one is definitely an exclusive, and yeah, I remember the title of this one. This one is actually called Jigoku Meguri, and it came in a plastic protector at the time I got it. I think this was in the bundle deal that, excuse me, that I got off of eBay with 1943 Kai, and I think another game. I don't exactly remember, but again, you play as this little monk character. But the funny thing is, it's again, it's great. Don't get me wrong. The graphics and the gameplay is really fun, and you throw like these little like marble type ball things as your weapon. That's your main weapon source, and you could like upgrade it too, and it turns different. And but when you play it on the actual game, it doesn't look. The character doesn't look like that. From what I experienced, the character actually kind of looks more like Porky the Pig. For whatever reason, I don't know why. It just comes off to me like that. It doesn't look as that. But you play as this monk-like character, action platformer, super fun. This is like one of those big kahunas on the PC Engine, one of those big double H's heavy hitters. But yeah, man. And I got a few more of those right here. And this one I believe is called Jackie Chan's Great Adventure or Kung Fu Adventure, something like that. Again, guys, there is NES version that has Jackie Chan Kung Fu Adventure or something like that as well. Nothing close to this, man. This is just on another level. If you guys don't believe me, go check on YouTube and do like a side by side comparison. That's a great game too. Don't get me wrong, but this one, just I would say takes the trophy if you want to compare one with the other. Super fun game, very action packed, very colorful. The graphics are just again mind blowing, amazing. Got a couple left, last two, but definitely not least. I believe this was in that bundle from what I remember. It was either 3 or 4 games from what I remember, but this one was in it. And I was looking out for this at the time, like, man, I can't wait to get this. I really want to get this, but it was really, really expensive. Again, I don't care about prices. I don't like to talk about it, but if something is really difficult to get, it's really expensive. I'm not gonna pull the trigger on it every single time because it's crazy with the video game prices. Even the Japanese stuff is it's just skyrocketing at this point. But this is another very fun, very challenging, but super fun, great game. One of the best games hand down on the PC Engine, and that is Legend of Hero Tonma. Sorry about that glare from the plastic case, but yeah, man, you get these really cool again power ups. Very arcadey, very fun. Just a straight up action platformer, amazing game. So yeah, man, Legend of Hero Tonma. That was that. And last but definitely not least, guys, this was the game that I actually bought before I got the console. And at the time, I remember I got the game for like 20 bucks or less. And again, glad that I did. Uh, After I got the game, because it was the only, at the time when I bought it, it was the only copy on eBay. And I usually don't buy anything overseas because it just takes forever. And patience is not one of my virtues. That's just me. It is what it is. But yeah. So I ended up getting that. And then after I bought that, I think either the same day or maybe a week later, I ended up buying the console. And slowly but surely, man, I bought some stuff, and I had a lot more games. I'll say that, but it just came to the point where like I wasn't feeling that certain game, so I ended up either flipping it or trading it, and then I rather do that, and it sits on the shelf and it collects dust, and if not, I'm not gonna play it, because a lot of times it's tricky where you know when you see the gameplay footage of a certain game, it's like, oh wow, your expectations are somewhat there. But it's totally different. It's night and day where you experience yourself and you're actually holding that controller. It could be a little sluggish, it could be slow, fast, or it's just something not quite right to me. And if I'm not gonna feel or like that game, then I'm not gonna keep it. So I rather get something else, as I always say, and uh, get something else, and I'm gonna play and I'm gonna enjoy. So that game is last but definitely not least, definitely in my top five, top three games on the PC Engine. Sun 2, baby. Love this game. Absolutely adore this game, guys. This game uh, holds a special place in my heart. I know I didn't grow up on a PC Engine or the Turbo Graphics or anything like that, but when I saw this gameplay footage, like I'm telling you, this is one of the main reasons, if not the main reason at all, that I ended up getting a PC Engine, because I absolutely wanted to play this game. And I'm definitely going to do a play date of this to show you guys a gameplay footage and the other games too. Hopefully, we'll see how it goes, because I want to do some other stuff and I'll just take it from there. But yeah, very clean, very super polished, colorful, beautiful game. It is in Japanese, but I mean, you could get through it, power ups, stuff like that. You go through certain levels. You need to get like certain things to progress to the next part. At least certain stages are like that. The bosses are super fun. Amazing, amazing game. Sun 2. Now, from what I remember, the first Sun game, it could be a compilation again on the Capcom Classic Collection. But there is also a physical version cartridge on the Famicom. I don't have that. I mean, I have it on the Capcom Classic. From what I remember, it is on there, either on the volume 1 or 2. But if I find it for a cheap price, why not? I'll definitely get it, a physical version, just to feel it, how it plays on a Famicom. But yeah, a lot of these games, I try to do my best, do my homework on it, figure it out, because a lot of times it could be where, for this game, like instance, this was the first game, Dondo Kodan, on the PC Engine. Part 2 was totally different game. I don't know, maybe the developers, they switched up, and it came out on the Famicom, which this one plays more of a Bubble Bobble style game. Part 2 is on the Famicom, plays more of an action platformer game, which is super fun, and I love that, the Part 2, a lot. But yeah, guys, that is it. Last game, Sun 2. And that's my PC Engine collection. So that is it. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I really, really appreciate it. And hope you guys all have a fantastic day. Take care.
I'll be back. Hasta la vista.